Good morning. It's now 20 to 10 on Saturday morning. We finished our holiday and we're about to head back to home. So we're going to take you with us, show you what the charging's like, show you a bit about the road, and hopefully it'll be a little bit shorter than the last time because I'm going to concentrate mostly on the charging stops. The first charging stop is at Aldea, which is 300 kilometers away, and it says we'll be there in 2 hours 58 minutes. So that'll be a long stop for lunch, and we'll do a lengthy charge. Estimate at the moment is we're going to get there with 8%, starting with 98%. Well, we've got proper rain as we approach our turn off, which should be interesting.
Now your destination is on the left.
So we're not going to have Claire out videoing this. Here are the chargers coming up. Ones on the left are type 2s, and I believe the ones on the right are type 3s, which is good because that means we get a fast charge. And that one's in a puddle of water, so I don't want to stand in a puddle. So I'm going to go round to a relatively dry one. Let's find our way into the charger. And I'm looking for the one on my left. And what I'm going to do now... Sorry? Alright. What I'm now going to do is take off my clip, otherwise I'll drag Claire out into the rain. Because it's still piddling down, I'm going to do a dirty dive to plug in. I'll use the car here to open the charging port. And then I'll do a dirty dive and plug in. Right, so we've started charging. It's gone up to 172 kilowatts, which is fine. 40 minutes remaining, but this is our main lunch stop for the day. The time is just coming up to 1 o'clock, so we'll leave the car to do its thing, go inside, use the loos, have a bite to eat, and we'll get back in touch with you afterwards. Well, we've just finished eating. We arrived at 12:55. It's now 13:24. We're up to 84%, and we were looking to leave with 90. I've set 90 as my charge limit, although they're now telling me to keep it at 100. But 3 minutes before we can actually set off on the next part of our journey, I'll set it back up to 100%. It says to get to 100% is going to take us 13 minutes, but we won't be here that long. We're just going to have the final loo break, and then we'll head back to the car and see how we're doing. Right, we're back at the car. We're up to 94%. All I needed was 90%, so the car was ready before we were. I'm now just going to put in my next navigation to the supercharger Caldes that looks like it there. Supercharger Caldes de Malavella.
To the roundabout and take the fourth exit.
And it says we should arrive there with 18%. So that's way more than we need. I'll just go and unplug now, and then we'll get this car back on the road. Yeah, this is the very smart hotel with a golf club alongside it.
Now enter the roundabout.
Took us a while the first time we were here to find where the car park, also where the chargers were, because they were kind of hidden down a side road. But no signage so far.
Now you have arrived at your destination.
And Tesla doesn't help a lot. And it's not until you get in here that you see the sign which says Tesla Superchargers. And there they are. Type 2s down here, and these are Type 3s. So I'll use the Type 3 so I can get the maximum power. Talking to the car, and it's charging. So we'll pop inside and just see what we need to get to our next destination. It's now 4:15 and we've got 25%. We're charging at 137, 136, 135 kilowatts. So I'll have a look at the navigator and see how much we need to get to Beziers, which is our next stop. Navigate to. And it's a decathlon. And it says we have 14 minutes remaining to enable us to continue our trip. So we'll head up to the hotel, use the loos, come back and see how much we have to wait, if any. Right, we're back at the car now and we have sufficient to continue. If you look at this, it says we've got 20 minutes. If you look at this, it says you've got 20 minutes remaining until our charge limit of 100%, but we can set off straight away for supercharger Beziers, and we're due to arrive there with 17%, which is more than the 10% that I'd planned. So we'll get underway and we'll head on up to Beziers, which is its last charge before our night stop. And we are finishing our journey through Spain by driving in the rain. Clearly the rain in Spain falls mainly on the motorway.
Now keep left to stay on lane B7.
And La Jonquera is the last services in Spain. And when I had the petrol car, this used to be an automatic stop because the fuel duty in Spain is a lot less than the fuel duty in France, or it was at the time, and we could save about 15 cents a litre by filling up at La Jonquera. I don't think you can do that anymore. And we're just coming up to the La Jonquera services, which are the last ones in Spain. Coming the other way, of course, that's the first ones in Spain. And when I had a petrol or diesel car, this was a mandatory stop because the fuel duties in Spain were vastly less than the fuel duties in France, and you could save an awful lot of money by filling up here. So on the way into Spain, we'd eke out every last drop to arrive almost empty at La Jonquera to fill up with fuel, and going the other way, whatever we needed, we top up to the brim before we left here to head on to France. Okay. And this is the French border. Now that we're in France, it means two things for the motorways. First of all, the speed limit is no longer 120, it's 130 if it's not raining, and 110 if it is raining. And apparently the way you can tell what counts as rain is if you put your wipers on, it's raining, and you have to do a maximum of 110. If you don't need your wipers, you can do 130. And the other thing is we're back in the area now for toll roads. So we've got our toll tag in the window, and when we get a bit further on, come round the coast towards Beziers, we'll hit the first of our tolls. And now we're back on toll roads, the traffic thins out a bit. We'll go for the 30-kilometre route. It should bleep as soon as we enter the gate. And that's it, we're through. And this is the last péage for the day. We're just arriving at Beziers. I'm going through the 30 again, and hopefully as I drive into the bay it will beep and open the gate at the far end. Down to 30. And we drive straight out, which is brilliant. Now we're heading to the supercharger at Beziers. This is going to be one of the only ones where we actually have to wait for the car to be ready. It's one of the only ones where you have to wait for the car to be ready, because the hotel we're staying at doesn't have charging facilities, and it's only a couple of kilometers from where we charge. So we'll have to go there, charge up, and use the loos at the Decathlon Sports Supermarket, which is the one we normally use. And then once we've charged up, ready for tomorrow, we'll make our way to the hotel. And loads of Tesla chargers, shed loads of them. Ooh. And we're charging, so we'll pop back in the car and sort out how much we need to get to our next destination. Charge rate is 147 and slowly dropping. We said 35 minutes remaining to 100%, but on my planning, which may be a little bit out because I was working on winter speeds, I said that we needed to get 90% in order to continue. So I'll just put in the next destination, which is Aldea Saint-Marie supercharger, in the sat-nav, and it'll see what that says. Navigate. Aldea Saint-Marie. Right, we've been to the loos, which is quite interesting for me because I went into the gents and one of the cubicle doors opened and out came this young lad, about 5 or so year old, with his mother, and they stood next to the urinals where the sinks were while he washed his hands. Clearly she would rather come into the gents with him than take him into the ladies with her. Anyway, I digress. We're back now, and it's just hit arriving at the supercharger Aldea with 0. We're still charging at 79 kilowatts. I would like to have at least 10% arrival at the supercharger. So this is the first time we're going to have to sit and wait for a few minutes for the car to be ready for us. It's now 6:49